Good day, grade 10 students! It's my pleasure to be with you on the first day of our English class for this school year. I'm your teacher, Reden Cristobal Andres, but you can call me Sir Red for short, and I will be your guide to this journey. Information from various sources of information like news reports, speeches, informative talks, and panel discussions in everyday conversations and exchange. Of course, we'll also love to hear updates about our surroundings, aren't we? This may be news about our community or about the favorites artists or even be updated about the weather. That's why we always wanted to listen to various sources of information. But don't you know that you can use this to your daily activities? Yes, you can even apply the information to your day-to-day activities and consider it in planning or even use in decision making. As I mentioned earlier, today's session will give you some points about various sources of information like news reports, informative talks, formal speeches, and panel discussion. Are you familiar with this? That's good! This session will guide you on how to use the information from these sources in your daily routines. Are you excited to specifically know them? The first source of information is a news report, which presents facts about people or events. It is gathered from the different sources as the information is presented in the most accurate way possible, whether in printed form or broadcast mode. The next source is the informative talk that teaches an audience something using objective factual information. Reports, lectures, trainings, seminars, and demonstrations are all examples of informative speaking. The third source is formal speech, which is usually the pre-planned type given to large audience at professional events such as business lectures. Next of which is the panel discussion that involves a group of people gathered to discuss a topic in front of an audience, typically at scientific, business, or academic conferences and on television shows. All of these sources are equally important, but when do you think is the appropriate situation where we can use the information we acquired from these sources? Well, my dear students, the answer is anytime, anywhere. As long as you practice the proper way of determining the most legitimate, accurate, and effective source of information, everything follows. Can you imagine how it works? Let's put it into an example. You read from a shared post over your Facebook account that community status in your town is already lifted and the minors like you are free to go out. You also decided to share it with your friends without checking the source of information because you got excited. Immediately, you invited them to stroll at the market and you were caught by the police officers and found out that what you have shared was just a meme.
Oh no!
From this scenario, were you able to use the information you got properly? Definitely no. This is why you really need to be knowledgeable about how to use information from different sources. Will you tell me once again what are the sources of information that I mentioned? Very loud and clear. That's great. These are news reports, informative talks, formal speeches, and panel discussions. These sources can either entertain, or motivate, or inspire us, or even provide us explanations to what we want and what we need to know. Do you have any questions? If not, let's have an activity entitled Let the Mirror Talk. Do you know this personality? He is Nick Vucic. He's regarded as the boy without arms and limbs. He inspires a lot of people through his motivational speech in the various places. He even posts his inspirational talks over the internet that amazes the netizens of how positive he is with the challenges he encountered. Do you also want to be inspired by this guy? This time, I have selected some of his famous lines and I will share them to you. I want you to create a table on your activity notes with 2 columns. At the first column, you have to write whether you agree with the quote or not. And on the second column, tell me what are the situations in your life where you can use this life quote. I will give you 15 seconds to make a table. That I've shared from these speeches? Was there some point in your life that you already used these quotes? Or when do you think is the right time when you use these life pieces of advice? So, I will give you a minute to complete your table. I believe you've done reflecting on his quotes about life and have chosen the quote that suits best in your day-to-day activities. If you haven't completed it yet, then you can proceed after this video. I want you to share your output with a friend by calling or texting him or her after our session. Then try to identify other factors that can lead you in challenging situations and how are you going to resolve them. So, attach your reflection to this activity with a table you have created. Is that clear? Now, it's time to let your voice be heard. For your performance task, come up with your own informative speech with the question, how can you inspire students like you to continue strive for educational excellence despite the challenges of COVID-19 pandemic? I want you to make a 2-minute video of your speech, then post it on Facebook with the hashtag #WeStriveAs1. Make your speech comprehensive as you always include information from different sources that I presented. Doing this performance can be used in sharing news reports, speeches, and panel discussions in your everyday conversation, as you can also be a source of information and inspiration to your listeners. You might be asking, how will you be graded? I hope you enjoy our first day of class and I hope you understood our lesson for today. Always remember, think before you click. Never share if it is not reliable. Don't forget also to read your modules while following safety protocols. Once again, this is Redency Andres, but you can call me Sir Red for short. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and leave a comment. God bless everyone. Goodbye.